Ms. Cooper, thank you for this opportunity. North Macedonia has joined the NATO alliance, which is a huge development for the country and the stability of the region as well. Yet, there are still some who believe that this membership could potentially be a financial burden to the already weak economy of the country. In your opinion, what should people know why this membership matters, especially during times like this with COVID-19?
I would say that the first and most important thing to keep in mind when it comes to prosperity is stability. And with NATO membership comes increased stability for not just North Macedonia, but for the region. So for the people of North Macedonia who have made the choice that their sovereign nation would take this path, they've also made a choice that they will choose stability and they will choose prosperity.
How else should this membership help the country besides bringing security? Can we talk about economic benefits, for example?
Absolutely. When you think about foreign investors want to invest in a place that has stability and that has security. So you really can't have one without the other. So I think that what we'll see in the coming years is increased prosperity for, again, North Macedonia, but I would say for the region as a whole.
Would you be able to comment on the EU integration process of the country? Bulgaria is announcing that it could block the process.
So I certainly cannot speak for the European Union, but I can say as an observer of North Macedonia and its government that the day-to-day diplomatic work that I've seen this government undertake over the past several years in building bridges with countries all around the region is exactly the sort of work that I expect I'll continue to see moving forward. North Macedonia has had a remarkable ability to create strong and productive relationships with its neighbors and to stand strong even in the face of external disinformation that would seek to divide.
Do you have any advice for our government officials in terms of implementing reforms in order to continue to integrate further in the Western institutions?
One of the most challenging things to do as a politician, as a leader, is to reform and to tackle corruption. But to me, I've seen the leaders of North Macedonia, and I also have to say the leaders in Athens, take great steps of political courage. The political courage that it took to sign the Prespa Agreement gives me tremendous encouragement that these leaders will find the political courage to take the practical measures to clean up corruption and to reform their institutions.
Ms. Cooper, North Macedonia is an open field for fake news. Russia tried to block the country's NATO membership. It could possibly happen with the EU integration.
Well, if I may, I'd like to go back to 2018, because when I visited North Macedonia with Secretary of Defense Mattis, it was a time of some uncertainty. You could see the hope of the people of North Macedonia striving for a future with NATO, but you could also see, just as you mentioned, tremendous disinformation, a cloud of disinformation from Russia, trying to dissuade the people of North Macedonia from choosing this path. Having chosen this path through this challenge of Russian pressure, I think North Macedonia is stronger than ever to be able to resist further pressure, not just from Russia, but I would also say malign influences from China or from threats like ISIS.
Do you foresee an increased U.S. engagement in the region to help fight against this propaganda?
I would say that the United States has been present in the region for a very long time. We've been with North Macedonia since before its invitation to NATO in 2008, and we will continue to be a steady presence in the region. The kinds of conversations that we have with North Macedonia are exactly the same as the conversations we have with other NATO members, talking about practical things that we can do to build up the resilience of our governments and our populations as we face information domain threats, whether it's disinformation or cyber operations.
Would you be able to emphasize any kind of project plan that the US and North Macedonia are currently working on that could strengthen the defense cooperation between the two countries?
There are so many projects to talk about, so I will try to be brief, but one of my great enjoyments is when I visit Skopje, sitting down with the Ministry of Defense, meeting with Minister of Defense Čekárinska, and talking about the range of projects that we are working on together. Some of them relate to building the capacity of the armed forces of North Macedonia to be a productive member of NATO in terms of their land capabilities. But some of the projects relate also to professional military education for the officers of North Macedonia. I will tell you that right now there are 30 students from North Macedonia in U.S. professional military education system schools. But finally, I have to go back to our partnership from well before this discussion of NATO membership, and that's the partnership that was forged on the battlefields of Iraq and the battlefields of Afghanistan. We have served side by side with soldiers from the armed forces of North Macedonia for, since 2001, and we will continue to serve with them.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.